and take some type of control. So
Okay, David.
Well, the justice system in itself is something that we don't control. Going back to Will's point, I know it's been said already, but that's something that we don't have any power over, you know what I'm saying? I mean, in terms of our community, we may be able to, elect, different representatives, just on a local level. But when it is in terms of, these places where there aren't, a large percentage of minorities, they're totally underrepresented. And for them to have any type of voice in the government, in the judicial system, is never heard. And, the problem with this is that these places are racist. And that racism always seems to come out because, the minorities aren't heard. And I think that's just the biggest fact.
Yo, this is a story about human rights. For those that don't know, you need to. Yo, a starving artist, but his lyrics so worldwide. His friend and manager was a snake in disguise, and he was bitten. His song sold without his permission. Saw his record on the shelf, the snake had stolen his vision. But knowing his rights, he could protect himself. Fair treatment by fair courts, he got the law to help. The other dude just sunk weak, looked like a punk. Could hardly open his mouth to speak, popping that jump. You better get up, stand up, if you've been done wrong. You better stand up for your rights like that Marley song. Get yourself represented, lawfully defended. Know your human rights, don't ever surrender.
Well, the meeting was called "The Injustice of the Judicial System," and it's crazy because it's a two-tiered system.
Mm-hmm.
You have a justice system for minorities, you have a justice system for whites, and when it comes to minorities, it's use what you can to lock them up as long as you can, and for the whites, it's just give them a slap in the hand, and it's proof with in Jena there was a case that two white kids beat up one white kid. The kid was in the hospital longer than Justin. Is it Justin Barker? What's his name?
Mm-hmm.
And he had like brain swelling, stuff like that.
Yep.
The two kids weren't really charged and were let out the jail the same day. That was just proof, two-tiered. There's two different ways, and the justice system, you could mold it the way you want. And if a racist person is gonna control the justice system, then they're gonna form it so that way a black person isn't gonna get far, so that we can stay in jail as long as they can. Because they're the ones controlling it. We're not.
Exactly. And just to piggyback on what you're saying, how it was a different case. I know there's a lot of different cases that plays along to the whole Jena Six, which is kind of similar to the situations at hand, exactly like the West Virginia case. You want to speak on that some, Javon?
Yeah, well, just proof of things that go on in the country people don't know about. Well, it should be in the news now, but, West Virginia, there's 6 white people kidnapped one black woman, 20-year-old woman, tortured her, made her eat dog feces, stabbed her in the leg, and each time they did stuff to her, they called her the N-word. The crazy thing about the case is that the fact that the FBI doesn't want to charge it as a hate crime. To me, that's a serious thing. They actually said the N-word to her while they did everything. That's proof in itself. It's a hate crime. And just the fact that it's not in the forefront of the news, you have to search to hear it. Like, when we said it in the meeting, people were like, wow, that just happened when? People didn't know about it, and there's millions of cases that go on like that every day that people don't know about.
Oliver James. Right. Welcome to my country, my friends.
I have right.
Really? Where do you think you are?
I have right.
I have rights! Only rights you have here.
Not rights. I give you.
Ready? 1, 2. Passez-moi.
Now, David, on from this whole hate crime situation, I know that they said that Jena Six was considered a hate crime. Now, what is the difference between actually a hate crime and an actual crime?
Well, when it comes down to it, technically they like to word it a certain way. With the Jena Six case, I mean, I guess with, the nooses and things like that, it was totally blatant so that everybody can see, like anybody who walked by and saw that tree and saw those nooses hanging there, know exactly what they're referring to, when it comes to terms with, the civil rights movement, Black history, and where, where that could be used as, a form of oppression through, just the actions that one does. But in the West Virginia case, in the case with Megan Williams, it's like nobody was there to really see it. And even though she says it, can you really take her word for it? So because it wasn't out there as much, the FBI doesn't really want to call it a hate crime because then that puts the whole racial spin on it. And of course, a justice system that is, dominated by, white people is obviously not going to want to bring race into it.
Chill out. Don't tell me to chill out when you're stealing my things.
You're calling us
I wouldn't have to raise my voice if you would just give it back and stop being like a criminal.
I don't have your cell phone.
Oh
I don't
God,
have
look
your
at
cell
yourself.
phone.
What are you offering
Is
the
this a
world,
thief's uniform? You see all these people standing around here? Why am I the one?
I'm sorry,
Why are you singling me out
homie,
right now?
okay?
What?
Don't make this a big deal. Just give it back, okay?
Did you see me? Did
Yeah,
you see
and
me?
you know, I just know you took it.
Where are
Look
your
at yourself.
witnesses?
Look at
Where are your
yourself.
witnesses?
What?
Did you see me? Did you see me?
Hey, you left us in the bathroom.
Now, cool. I know, like, we recently just had a discussion about media. I believe it was in NAACP, how sometimes the media always mold on what they want to be news and what they suggest to be news. And why does it always, like, in your opinion, seem as if, like, when it comes to situations with us, when we're being seen as the victims, we're not necessarily, situations is not pushed to the storefront as in being pushed in news, like the Megan Williams case?
Well, first of all, I don't think that we control the media at all. That's a huge thing. And also, I don't think really anyone wants to hear the truth. You'd like to picture this perfect world where, nothing really happens, everyone lives in harmony and everything, but that's not the case. And, when cases like this do happen, it's just like, wait a minute. Like Jovan was saying, is this 1967? Are we going back, to the days where it was blatant and in front of our face? So I know, as far as media goes, like I said, we don't control the media, and I don't think, when I hear this, I'm even shocked. So it's just trying to keep it, under the table, try to keep everything, down to a minimum, just like the person that was representing them down there said, we wanted to keep it to ourselves, so.
As well as with the whole Jena situation, one of our former members of Late Night Noise, Rika, she actually had an opportunity of being down there within the rally and all in the midst of all of that, and she got great footage. And Will, my question is, do you believe us as a people need to come together more so, and should have been one of the people down there actually be making sure we was in the action, and it's instead of waiting till last minute to actually take action, we should be already in the action.
Well, I think the point you bring two things I want to touch on. The first one being as a people. And I think that when we had the meeting the other week, it was a great meeting. And I think the best part about the meeting that I liked, yes, the discussion part, but the fact that the room was filled. And when I looked across the room, I saw people of different lifestyles, different colors, different shades of black and brown. And I was very happy. A multitude of different organizations represented. And it was great that we all came together and sat down. But the thing is, when we come together and sit down and practice this intellectual exercise, at some point or another, this intellectual exercise needs to be brought to real life. We need to stop practicing and start performing. And I think that, it's difficult. It's hard. We're students, we're young, but at the same time, we can't expect anyone else to do it. And essentially, if you look at your life, the way your life goes, we're the most flexible. We're the ones that can get up and walk out of class in terms of a demonstration. We're the ones that can get up and drive to Louisiana if we really, really want to. We can't expect people that have 9-to-5 jobs to get up and do it. We can't expect people that are younger than us, that have a regimented schedule in school, high school and elementary school, to do it. So in terms of getting into the action, I think that as college students and as young people, we should be at the forefront. We should have sat down and had the meeting, yes, and then tried to, rent an SA van or charter a bus, gotten the monies together to charter a bus to go down there and say, hey, we're young students, and we could have gotten help from other schools in the area. It doesn't have to be just one organization. But, not to downplay what we've done so far, because we are taking things into action. But to continue on moving forward, we have to, like I said, perform rather than practice.